What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and back with an album that caught my eye when I was looking through the drive that Kim has made available, so big thank you to Kim. And that is a solo album by Curt Smith. So, yes, I think he has had multiple albums before this one, but this is from 2013, Deceptively Heavy, which is a funny record name. What's the plan? Are you coming? She's thinking about it. But yes, I am keen to hear what Curt has done outside of Tears for Fears, so yes, we're going to go through this album. And the first track on it is Beautiful Failure, which I like that phrasing, which may seem like an oxymoron or like an internal contradiction, but I think it's more common than perhaps some would suppose, in the sense that sometimes people get a... what's the right phrase to use here? That only if something perfectly works out and is exactly what it was intended to be, is it a success. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think there are things which may not work out as intended, may not even accomplish the primary goal of whatever enterprise it is, but have a lot of value and have much to take away and can be inspiring and profound even as they fell short of a mark or an expectation. And of course, you could refer to creative endeavors or professional endeavors, but also to a relationship or to some personal trajectory. Let's not do that. We're waiting to see what you're going to do. But yeah, so I like the phrase, and as I said, I think it is more common than perhaps some people suppose, and I think there are many things of great value and worth even if they didn't become what they were supposed to. So let's give it a listen and see what Curt has to say about it. This is Curt Smith from his Deceptively Heavy album 2013, the opening track, Beautiful Failure.
Beautiful failure, sooner or later we'll say so long. Unusual stranger, counting the days until the tide runs out. We're winding down. As long as you can smile, you're alive. Won't you stay? Just breathe for
it is interesting to use that nursery rhyme, which, the lyrics of which I always was amused that they feel very dark. But again, the idea that maybe in the end, the baby and the cradle and everything else will fall, but perhaps it doesn't mean that the time where the person or the situation stayed and persisted, that is meaningless or worthless. Now, in a more literal context, it's certainly a tragic development. But again, the idea of a failure still being beautiful. Actually, when it began, or in the moment between my introduction and when I hit play, I was wondering if this is the kind of phrase or song title that could relate to Tears for Fears, that, they didn't continue on forever. There was somewhat of an acrimonious coming apart, but that what they did when they were together, when they stayed and created those seminal albums, that was something beautiful. Now, again, I have no direct indication from what I just heard that is the case, or that it's even necessarily autobiographical at all, although, of course, I'm thinking there has to be something there if Curt is the one writing these songs. But yes, it did make me wonder whether there could be some reference here to Tears for Fears, which at this point was like, at the very least, on hiatus, right? They came back together, Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, and then nothing, I think, until, or at least nothing in terms of studio albums, or maybe compilation albums that Everybody Wants to Rule the World, or it's just Rule the World, right? Yeah, just Rule the World. And then, of course, came back together more formally or more successfully to release Tipping Point, and have continued now into the present. But yeah, I did have that thought that maybe there could be some reference. In any case, I've said it for his vocals like a decade ahead of this in time, but Curt's vocals are amazing to me because they really sound just as lovely, just as melodic, just as crisp as his singing from the 80s. And maybe you could detect slight differences in terms of, he's older and his exact vocal register may have changed, but he really does sound quite like he did in the early days, and I think that is a testament to, number one, just his vocal abilities, but number two, to the writing for his voice. And I've mentioned before, there's nothing wrong when a singer's voice changes. I always use Dave Gahan as a reference point because I love Depeche Mode, but the Dave Gahan of 83, 84 does not sound like the Dave Gahan of the 2010s or the 2020s, but that's okay. I still think he sounds good, but I think Curt sounds closer to his younger voice than someone like Dave or some others, where you can hear the maturation and aging of the voice more notably. So yeah, I enjoy the production. Kind of has a pop rock feel to it. Definitely got a bit, not edgier. I mean, it didn't sound like edgy alternative, but there was a moment, I don't even know, maybe it was the chorus or maybe it was an interlude in the second half of the tune where it did get a bit stronger, a bit more powerful in terms of the guitar sonics and the overall atmosphere. But yeah, I'd put it in the sort of, smooth melodic pop rock, not like soft rock, but melodic pop rock range. And yeah, like I said, I'm keen to hear what people have to say about the lyrics and his solo work and this album more generally. Once again, big thank you to Kim. Let me know what you think. And Luca, who now, of course, is tranquil like a... The proper simile fails to come to my head, but like a loaf cat is, I guess, the best visual reference I will make. Yes, but at the beginning of the video, she's climbing the walls, she's going to knock everything over, and then now, as we go to end the video, she is very placid. In any case, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.